Refugee resettlement in the U.S. will grind to a halt tomorrow unless the Trump administration steps in to meet an October 1st deadline. The 1980 Refugee Act mandates that the president set the annual number of refugees the U.S. will admit at the beginning of each fiscal year. The administration has lowered that number every year since the president took office, and advocates worry that this year the Trump administration will delay the announcement or even zero out the program. CBN News has reached out to the White House for comment. A State Department spokesperson deferred to the Trump administration, saying it is the president's decision. We are joined now by Chris Pileski, the president of Bethany Christian Services. Chris, welcome to Newswatch.
Thanks for having me.
Chris, Bethany has been serving refugees since the Refugee Act began. What exactly happens to refugee settlements if the White House delays an announcement?
Well, so there's a process that happens every year, and the president signs the determination, and it says how many refugees can come in the country. That's set in coordination with Congress. Neither the conversation with Congress has happened, nor has that document been signed. So if it's not signed, that means that no refugees can come into the country. And what that means for families is that families who have people in the pipeline coming to the United States, they can't come to the United States. So we have separated families.
So you're saying, Chris, it's possible that the Trump administration could zero out and just entirely dismantle the program?
That's our fear right now. We're seeing that there hasn't been any energy. It doesn't seem like it's on anybody's desk or on anybody's radar to sign that document. So we believe that there's I would say, no energy behind it, and we have great fear that that program will be zeroed out.
Chris, can you tell me the numbers from last year? How many refugees came in to the United States?
Sure. And I'll even give you a little bit of background. I mean, this has been something that Democrats and Republicans historically have been able to agree upon. The number's been around 95,000 a year. They've come into our country. These are people who are fleeing. They're refugees. There's 26,000 refugees across the globe, and we're bringing in 95, and that's great. That number has continually gone year after year. Last year, the ceiling was set at 15,000. We are seeing around 10,000 refugees that were brought into the country this year, besides the ceiling being set at 15,000. So that number continues to shrink. Vulnerable people, vulnerable minorities, including Christians, Yazidis, different groups, they don't have the option to come to the U.S. anymore, and especially kids, they're out of options.
How's the coronavirus affecting this program?
Sure. It slowed it down. In fact, we put out a report on how the coronavirus is affecting the refugee resettlement program. And people can check it out at bethany.org/refugees. And it explains how you can resettle refugees safely in the time of corona. Because people are still vulnerable. In fact, people have become more vulnerable because of coronavirus in squalid camps. There are more wars going on. People are, let's say, more vulnerable overall, especially women and children. But we've seen there are safe ways, and we've been following CDC guidelines in resettling people in those safe ways.
Chris, what is your hope for the refugee resettlement at this point that we're at right now?
So I think if we could get back to historic levels of 95,000 a year, that is our request. That is our desire. That is our ask to the president and administrations to please sign that determination for 95,000, allowing minorities, Christian minorities, Yazidi minorities, people who are really in need to come to the U.S. because this is who we are. This is what we're made up of. We are made up of immigrants and refugees, and that hasn't changed.
Well, I'm sure you guys have reached out to the White House, and we will see what happens. Thanks so much for your time. Chris Pileski with Bethany Christian Services.